Welcome to Ageod's or Ageod or Ageod. I don't know how they pronounce this developer. Game called Alea Jacta Est, which is the die is cast. It's Latin for the die is cast. And that is what Caesar said when crossing the Rubicon River, which is the gateway to, once you cross the Rubicon, you can't turn back. And so he was basically saying, the die's cast, let's get this thing over with. I'm going to march on Rome. Before the Rubicon, you can turn around and your legions could go back to barracks and no one would say anything. But if you crossed the Rubicon, you had to go for Rome. So that's the title of the game. It's an Ageod game. Ageod, I guess, is probably how it goes. If someone let me know how it's pronounced, please, in the comments. That'd be great. I'm learning this game brand, trying to figure it out. I did watch a tutorial video by a person by the name of XR, EXAAR. He has a YouTube channel, and he had a nice intro video. There was 3 or 4 parts, which I watched, which were very useful. And I'm going to try to explain the game. If you've never played an Ageod game before, this is basically my first. I own a couple of them, but I never really play them. So I'm just getting the hang of it, and hopefully as I play this game, if you've played one of these games before, let me know what I'm doing wrong, or let me know if I'm playing or doing a good job. I'm playing on level 2 out of 4, which is called Centurion. Alea Jacta Est simulates and fights the battles of ancient Rome, the campaigns of ancient Rome. And there are lots of scenarios. I'll show you some here. We're going to play a short one. And let's take a look here. We're going to go with a new game. I've already played once the Rebellion, Spartacus Revolt, and I'm going to give it another shot to see if I can do a little bit better this time. Didn't really do that well the first time I played it. So we'll give it another shot, and hopefully we can go through, I can go through some of the details of how to play this game. This game is available on Steam, and when the summer discount comes, this might be one you want to pick up if it's on sale. But I've bought a lot of the I bought a lot of the DLC for this. So I've got the tutorial, they have the Roman civil wars, including Marius versus Sulla, the Great Mithridatic War, Mithridates, basically Rome versus Pontus. Roman Civil War, Caesar versus Pompey, Year of 4 Emperors in 68 AD. You get the Spartacus Revolt here, which is one of the shortest. And they've got some really old one here, Third Samnite War. I mean, you've got a lot to choose from. And then, of course, you've got Hannibal. So, awesome stuff. I haven't played any of this. Looking forward to starting to play this game and getting into it. Hope that this is something that you, as my viewers, are interested in, because first time I played it, it's very, very strategic. There's not a lot of action, but the battles, the planning, how to use your armies, how to build your armies, and how to really come up with a coherent strategy, grand strategy to win an ancient series of battles was a lot of fun. So let's give the Spartacus Revolt a shot here. We'll get it loaded up. Every time I see the Spartacus Revolt, I always think of the Kirk Douglas movie, Spartacus, and the guy that played Crassus, and if you haven't seen that movie, and of course they've got the slave leader looks just like Kirk Douglas, which is fantastic. And it says Spartacus 73 BC. This scenario covers the 3-year revolt of Spartacus in Italy. The Romans must kill Spartacus and eliminate all slave rebels to win. Slave just got to survive. So they have to receive reinforcements, which they do by staying alive and also by capturing cities in southern Italy. Then they will receive a big bonus. They leave the peninsula. The Romans in this scenario have to defeat Spartacus. In Ageod games, the armies are depicted by cards. The battles are fought. You move. The turn consists of this. You can build, get reinforcements, build, add troops to your army, move your army, and attack. But your attacks are made. You choose where you're going to go. and it's a we go system. So as you do all your turn, the enemy's doing their stuff, and at the end of the turn, everybody moves. Turns are 30 days long. So whatever you do is going to take 30 days. You know, you're going that if you do something that takes more than 30 days, you're going to find that you know, planning in this game is short-term planning is better. I mean, I do like 30-day plans. Anything beyond 30 days, I don't really do. As far as movement, you know, and wear and tear happens on your troops. This little envelope says that this guy is he's not fully active. Every turn there is a roll of the dice to determine whether or not your guy is completely active. In this case, he's not completely active, so the envelope is orange. When the envelope is white, then he's ready to rock and roll. Each city, and then each general, well, start with the general. You can see this guy is Praetor Glaber. Caius Claudius Glaber. His required command is 2 and his provided command is 4. So basically, he can command 4 units. He is he can and if you look down at the bar down here, you can see that he already commands 2 units. He commands 2 units of urban cohorts. Now in this current stage, his army includes 2 urban cohorts. This thing right here, the purple, that is the cohesion of the unit. So you want your unit to be cohesive, and you want your unit at full strength. This tells us the unit is at full strength. This icon is important because it tells you what type of unit this is. This is the commander himself, and if you look at his command rating, where it says 3, 1, 2, that's a pretty meh or lower tier command rating. The better the command rating, the more stuff you can do, and the more you can move, the farther you can move in a short amount of time. And then most commanders have a little symbol up here which tells you poor spy network. This guy doesn't have a very good ability to detect the enemy, so he's got a negative ability to detect enemy units. Over here, these are the ways you can set up your unit to act in a given turn. So you can be uber aggressive, and right now, since he's not activated because of this little orange envelope, he can't do any of this stuff right now. The only thing he can do is either be in passive or defensive posture. And right now, I'm going to leave him in defensive posture. When you're in passive posture, you get combat penalties if you're attacked. So, but when you're in passive posture, your units are much more likely to heal up and get better and regain cohesion or strength here. In defensive posture, your unit's going to take advantage of the terrain around it, and it's going to fight better. And then under this posture, this is, I think it's commander says the force can't perform offense. This is offensive, and then this is like aggressive. And when you're an aggressive, you're going to attack anything that's in your area. It's kind of like army ant mode. When the army ants swarm on a a thing. You can also, there's 2 units in Neapolis. This is the city where it's located. This little fortress tells us this is a level 2 fortress, and this is the size of the city. A star next to the city here tells us this is an important location. It's an important location because it's a primary objective in the game, or at least it's an objective in the game, and you get victory points based on these objectives. So Capua is an objective, Neapolis is an objective, Metapontum is an objective, so is Tarentum and Brundisium, and Rome, of course, is a major city, but it's not a major objective here. I don't think. It's kind of odd. Normally it is. It's a strategic town, so it's going to have some value. You can tell how many units, are in a town by clicking on this, and this tells you that there are units in the town, and there's 2 different groups of them. Now you can drag and drop, like for instance, you could try to drag and drop this guy into Glaber's. Oops, I went back in the city. You could drop him into Glaber's unit, but he's locked. And if you did that, Glaber would then be locked. So locked units cannot move. And generally speaking, like this, right? Usually when you have something like that, it's a militia unit. It's a local town militia that is not set up to be moved. So like you go here and you click on this one, it tells you there's a militia unit. Another really important thing about your leader is that it tells you that Glaber has 3 units, his own unit, and then 2 urban cohorts, and that the power is 150. You can also look at the unit itself and see this little green dot. The number of dots going across here, I think it goes up to 5, 4 or 5. We'll see this round. And the fact that the dot is green means that his troops are all ready to fight. You can't see what's going on with the slave army at this moment, but you can see that they're not very well ready to go. And I'm not going to attack him this turn. Well, I can't attack him this turn because he's not activated. So that is the basics of the game. Moving is very simple. You just simply pull this and drag and drop. And if you start to move and then you cancel a move, then to cancel your moves, you just hit the delete button on your keyboard, and it'll cancel your moves. Oh, so over here on the F keys, these are important. So you can look at this and you can see the armies that we've currently got in the field of battle. In all these places, these are probably smaller units, garrisons, etc., locked units, and you'll see that there's 2 full-blown armies, one in Neapolis by Praetor Glaber, and then one in Placentia, which is led by this this pillar of mediocrity here, Caius Cassius Longinus, and he is also not active at the moment. Well, he's on. He's not on full active. He's not fully activated. I mean, he's activated, but he couldn't attack anybody. And Placentia is up here, so you could click on this, and then you could take a look at Longinus's troops, and you can see that he's got some auxilia and looks like a provincial unit. These guys are fairly good infantry, and then he's got impedimenta. This stuff's good because this supplies the army. As the army moves, it uses up supplies, and so you're going to want to take a look as the turn goes on, and that data tells you about your ammunition and your supplies. So you always want these 2 things to be green when you're in an army. And if you run in a location, the best way to deal with it is at the end of a turn, first of a next turn, you see you're out of supplies. You're going to want to be looking at the map and then determine what the supply level of the area you're in and whether that's going to be enough supply for you. The F keys, we'll go over this really quick and then we'll get going. The F keys, looking at this one up here, this again tells you where your units are, production. You're going to take casualties. These are casualties in battle, and then you're going to want to have about 10% of those casualties evidenced by replacements. So I know I'm going to lose guys already, but I don't have a whole lot of money either. When this gets up to about 1,000, you've got pretty good bank. And just to kind of get an idea, if you get a replacement here, it costs 20. So this stuff's important too because it tells you what's going on. You can click these and it'll tell you, double click, sorry, and it's just that's just the information we already know. And then you've got the Spartacus Revolt. It says slaves and gladiator led by Thracian Spartacus have rebelled in a gladiator school in Campania. It looks at first like a small rebellion, but the winds of freedom may blow much stronger than anticipated by the Roman patricians. This won't be important in this particular battle, but your trade fleets are over here. And oh, by the way, when you click on a unit over here, it's going to tell you what's in it. So these are just all trading ships. There are pirates, but they really didn't have much of an effect in the first time I tried to play through this game. Let's see. That's pretty much all we've got going. Oh, as you play the game, you can you've got forces, reinforcements, politics. And if you get caught where you need more money, you can give up victory points, 25 victory points, and some other things to get more denarii. These give you political options, and these change as the game goes on. And it's pretty cool. Like in this game, you get the opportunity to bring other armies on the battlefield and move things around to make your strategy. But it costs you victory points. And when you choose some of these options, it limits your ability to win the game outright. And the best you can hope for is a minor victory. No historical options are available. Oops. This is the strategic map. It basically shows the major objectives and who owns what. And then objectives. As you play the game, it'll tell you, first off, morale right now for the slaves is at 95, for pirates is at 110, and then this is your morale up here. So your victory points are here, which is very important, and your morale is right here, and this is your engagement points. I'm not really sure what this means. If you know what it does, please let me know. Over here, there's prisoners taken and our losses. Large numbers of when there's large number of prisoners, over 5,000, you have options to do with the prisoners. You can sell them for money, etc., etc. Pretty cool. Of course, it tells you what your current status here. That Rome is the capital. Our morale is 95, etc. And then this tells you what the objectives are on the battlefield. All right, that's pretty much it to get started. Oh, over here, this is the decision mode, and this tells you you can make decisions that affect the game down here. So, for instance, you can increase taxes to gain more denarii, which could cause some problems with the locals, but get you more cash so you can fight the war. You can enslave and plunder. You can do all these things, and then you can even build roads between certain areas so that you can travel more effectively in the war. Build walls, rebuild walls at cities where the cities aren't, the walls are knocked down, and then a defensive structure. Over here, you can see that Kirk Douglas, Spartacus, is besieging Neapolis, which has a unit already in it, and he can't assault into the city unless he's got a special ability until he's knocked down 2 points of the city's defenses. So it'll let you know what's going on each turn. We're not going to do any of these right now. We may do some later. And then this list here, this is where you can use money to hire additional units for the battle. And it tells you what their costs are. So these 2 infantry units, and you can hire 1 of these guys, you can hire 6 of these guys, tells you how many of them are on the map. You got some equites here and some auxilia here. So we don't have a lot of money right now, but, and I don't really see for a need for buying warships, but what I am going to do is buy, I know that I'm going to have an army coming at Tarentum, so I'm going to buy money 18. Well, I'm going to buy that guy, and I'm going to place him there. Now, he's not purchased yet. He's purchased, but it takes him 30 days for that unit. It's going to take 30 days for that unit to be up to full strength and ready to fight. And so these are 30 denarii, so I'm going to buy, how much of these guys? 100, too much. 40 for auxilia. And I'm going to buy 1, 2 of these guys, so I've still got half of my money, and I'm buying some units. All right, and then once you buy the units, there we go. You can go over to the city and click here, and then you'll see, hey, there's these guys, and notice these are empty because the unit is forming, and it's going to take them a little time to form up. And the reason we're doing this is so when the army that gets placed there comes around, we're going to want to be ready to fight. Ending your turn is done here. I'm not going to move anybody because I really can't this turn, so I'm going to hit this. There's 37 turns in this game. and we'll watch as the computer will take its time to figure out the AI as it does a WeGo system, and then Spartacus and his boys will start doing their thing. So we can see from this already that the slaves have taken this territory. Taking a territory can be as simple as moving through it. They've taken this territory, they've taken this territory, and they've literally pillaged it for money. They've taken this territory and this territory, so they're already tearing up the countryside. So these units are half. Okay, that unit's ready to go. These units are half done, and I still have 108. I want to save that money, and it looks like the enemy has moved away. So this turn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm actually going to go here, and I've got 100 left. How much is this guy? 30. Now I'm going to push it a little bit, and I'm going to buy this guy and put him in Neapolis. And I think that puts him up to his maximum number of units, and that leaves us with 48. That's just enough to make do. And that's all I'm going to do this turn. Now this guy's... Oh, hold on. Okay, let's take a look and... Oops, I want to get off this. Sorry, it takes me a minute to figure out. Whoops. Oh, he can't move. Cool. Alright, let's go to Neapolis. And so I've got Urban Militia, Praetor... And I've got these guys, which are all locked. He's got his 2 units, and I've got these 2 units, which are now forming up. And I'm not going to move this turn because if you see that, now you see that he's past his role, and he could move this turn, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to end this turn. Okay, the slaves have attacked Metapontum, and there's been a Roman victory. And this tells us the casualty amounts were pretty low on each side, 430 men on our side and 799 men on their side. These are the actual units, urban militia, that were fighting. These are the slave units that attacked, and these are all the factors that took place in the battle. That tells you why things happened the way they did. This tells you that all our units were supplied, all their units were supplied. They had ammo, we had ammo. We were behind fortification, and we had good fortifications. They didn't. And they had 2 units which ran from the battle. So, yeah, it looks like we did pretty good in that battle. You can actually go into an even more detailed report. You can go into unit by unit, each unit's performance in the battle. Pretty cool. And so we will checkmark that and let the round continue. Alright, so now we're on turn 3. Let's check our forces. These guys in Placentia, I don't think they do anything unless he goes up there. And these guys are not active this turn. And I don't have anybody else yet. So, what do we got going on in Neapolis? Any of these armies ready to go? Urban militia's locked. Those guys aren't ready, and those guys aren't ready. I want those guys in the city. And how much money do I have? I'm down to 53, so I'm going to leave that alone, and we're going to end the turn. The first few turns are going to progress slowly because I don't have the forces to fight him right now. And he is gathering. He's already up to a 2-dot army. He's got some supply problems or something going on. And now I'm getting my second army, and I've got his slave army. This guy's ready to go. And he's got some provincial troops. And what do I got going on here? Praetor, and I've got these guys should be ready to go. those guys. Oh, these guys are ready to go too. Oh, they're already up there, so. Trying to. Okay, hold on a second. No, I want. Sorry, I'm having a. Okay, let's go do this way. There we go. Now I've added that unit, and now if you check Praetor Glaber, you'll see that he's still required command, provided command 4. So he's if he gets over his ability, he'll suffer a penalty, and you don't want to do that. And then I've got these guys. I'm going to add them to his army. So he's now got a pretty good combat power of 326. I don't know what this unit is. It looks like a small slave unit. And I've got Publius Varinius. What's his skills? He's a fast mover, level 1. Commander 15% move bonus, and he's got dispersed move. Letting his troops move in disorder. So, and his rating is 421. So he's a pretty good commander. For the sake of this, I'm gonna get a little active, and I think, oh, we've got another guy down here too. Sweet. I'm gonna move this unit to Tarentum, and then I will combine that army next turn. So now I'm gonna have 3 armies in the field. We're now starting to get an army that we can, and he's besieging Capua. More than likely, the slaves will attack Metapontum. They really like that spot, and it's an objective city. I'm going to attack. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I got to go on to offensive mode. And we're going to move in here. And we're going to attack. He's active, so we can do that. This new guy here. If there's any units in here I can add to him. There's nothing. I'm going to move this guy down here. Oops. We're going to turn him on attack. And he's going to come down here as well. So it takes him 6 days of movement. I don't know why it's taking Glaber so long to get there. He'll get there first. We're going to have a double engagement there. Hopefully defeat the slaves and get a Roman victory. Meanwhile, this unit moves up here. And that's all we've got planned for this turn. Where Spartacus is, we don't know. Looks like his unit moved out of the area. And now we're chasing rebels. And he's gone back into passive mode. What can this guy lead? Well, he's got 2 commanders with him too. And when you have more than 1 commander, your ability to lead units gets better. So his required command is 3 and his provided command is 20. So he can command a lot of units. So I'm going to shift these herbs over to him. I'm going to march Glaber to Neapolis. And I'm going to march him to Neapolis. And he's going to take defensive posture. I'm concerned if I start moving. Okay, Spartacus is down here. And then I'm going to go down to here. And it's time to add these units. Let's see how he's doing. Okay, he's got 1 more. They're locked. They're not locked. Cool. So he's fully stocked, and I'm gonna. Oh man, the slaves took Metapontum. So I'm going to build him up. He's up to 361, and then this guy's up to 344, and then Praetor Glaber is only up to 81. So our combat power is continuing to build, but we don't have a lot of money. National morale remains good, and we're starting to get some victory points. We've had a couple skirmishes with the rebels, and other than that, they've ran. It looks like there's a siege at Beneventum, and Battle of Neapolis. Okay, small. It looks like a small contingent of slaves came and were at Neapolis, and we drove them off. He lost his whole unit. So Publius Varinius wins a victory for Rome. Nice. Oh, it was a big battle. And Spartacus just put a beat down on us. Spartacus, and we lost some legionary cohorts and some auxiliaries, and he lost 2 light infantry units. And these are other units the other hits you've taken. So we lost 5,000 men, and they lost 2,000 men. I did not expect him to be there. Oh man, he's crushed us. He just showed up and put a beat down on us. We're gonna have to withdraw to Capua. Well, I don't know if Glaber was killed or not. Did he make it into the city? It looks like he is no longer with us. Let's check the I got Tarent, Capua. Publius Varinius is at Capua, and then Tarentum. Oh, Glaber ran all the way to Tarentum. He ran down here. I don't blame him. What are you gonna do? Oh, he lost his unit too. Well, he is besieged. So Spartacus has a very large army which is besieging Neapolis, and he has just taught us a lesson in aggressiveness, and so he is now assaulting Neapolis. What I'm going to do while he's attacking Neapolis is I'm going to put these guys on aggressive, and I'm going to attack Metapontum. And these guys, you can see that they took some severe losses. The good news is these units are still fairly functional, and they're in Capua, and Capua also has some urban militia in there. So we lost a lot of combat power fighting that battle. But look, I mean, he's up to a 3-star unit, so we're just trying to hold on right now. And you can see Spartacus is now starting to run amok. This, I probably won't succeed here, and I might draw him away from Capua. This might be a feint. He might come down and just put a beat down on this guy. But if he does, if he takes Neapolis, things are looking bad. I want to keep him hemmed down here. Yeah, he left, which is bad. Oh man, I ran into Crixos, and he had an army, and we lost close. We have lost the battle against, slaves infected. Oh, and by the way, down at the bottom here, it tells you what's going on in between each turn. All right. Yeah, he lost just too much cohesion to assault Metapontum. Yeah, it's bummer. If we'd have taken Metapontum, we could have really we could have threatened him pretty well. At this point, what's my strength now? And the strength is still good, but the cohesion of the army has fallen. So I'm going to withdraw. We're down to 72. And as you see, these units are already, in these 30-day time frames, these units are already almost back to strength, and they're well supplied. So I am going to withdraw back to Tarentum. And oh boy, he's still attacking Neapolis. Maybe he'll pull out of there. It'd be great if he reacts too. And he's got troops all the way up here. He's causing havoc. Causing havoc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here. Thanks a lot for watching. For the very first episode of AG Odds, AGEOD, AgeOD, Alea Jacta Est, and I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did, even though the barbarian slaves seem to be really licking on me right now. I'm going to get them back in session 2. Thanks for watching this episode. I'll see you on the next one.